Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 19th, 2017, and this is your fun fact of the day. This week we will be talking about essentially laziness. I tend to self-proclaim myself as a lazy person, so this one kind of hit home with me a little bit. So a womanly woman. She is not idle. She is willing to work with her own two hands. Of course, the two hands thing is a figure of speech. Obviously, this doesn't exclude amputees or paraplegics, but you get the point. A womanly woman is willing to work. The woman in Proverbs was possibly a little unrealistic for the average woman nowadays in how much she was able to accomplish. You hear of the super moms and the superwomans. Yeah, the Proverbs woman was definitely a super mom. I'd be okay being just a good mom. Some days my goals are get my kid through the day alive, get myself through the day alive, and maybe do the dishes if there's time. So this Proverbs woman kind of is like, how do you have the time? So obviously, again, this is one of those things that looks vastly different for very different reasons, for different women, for different situations. For instance, a working woman who works outside of the house at a job where she gets paid, she should work diligently. This woman shouldn't have to be constantly watched and made sure she's continuing to do stuff. A womanly woman will do her task and do it as well as she can. For the stay-at-home person, that can look more like, doing the dishes or whatever chores to make sure the house stays in line, keep your kids alive if you have them. Any, four-legged children, you keep them alive as well, or winged, scaled, equal pet opportunist. Basically, in the very wise words of our pastor, just do something. This is a great book, by the way. It doesn't necessarily pertain to doing chores or something, but still a very useful book. For instance, the Proverbs woman would rise while it was still night out, and she would make breakfast for even her servants. Now, for you late nighters versus early risers, obviously this doesn't mean that's exactly what we should do. Get up early and make breakfast. But the point is that she took care of her household. She would also look at fields and see that if they were good or not, and then she would purchase them and work them. Mind you, this was back in the day of Solomon. This is Solomon writing to his son, so he's talking about a woman during his time. And women weren't super free to do a bunch of things. And yet this woman is able to look at a field and see if it's something that could be profitable. And she bought it. She is also taking care of her family. So way back then when women weren't as free as they are now, how much more should we, with so much more freedoms, do things that are profitable to families, to society, to everyone, anyone, animals? Do it well, but just make sure you're doing something. A womanly woman will do something. She is not idle. She works willingly, and to the best of her ability, she works joyfully. It should be a joy to work and not just sit around on Facebook all day. In other news, it is National Amaretto Day, National Garlic Day. Huge fan of garlic myself. Possibly too much, especially if it's garlic salt. I put that on a lot of things. And it is National Hangout Day. So go out and hang out with your friends or your buddies or your coworkers. Hang out with people. Or you can literally hang out. Wouldn't recommend hanging out too high up though, because you might actually fall. So hang out and have fun. Hope you've enjoyed this fun fact of the day. See you tomorrow.